Today on the newscast, Lebanon, Gaza, Yemen, Iran, and what it means for you. We've got an on-the-ground report from Jerusalem from Yair Pinto of TBN Israel. That's next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. A very busy week in the world's most chaotic and strategic region, the Middle East. We have Houthi rebels in Yemen launching rockets at Israel. We have Israel ramping up operations in Gaza, not only preparing for that coming Rafah offensive, but do you remember Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza? We thought that was under control. Well, Hamas terrorists have tried to burrow back into that very hospital. Thankfully, the IDF is on the case. Then we have, of course, Hezbollah in Lebanon, folks. 2 IDF soldiers wounded just yesterday by yet another Hezbollah attack. And behind the scenes, as the puppet master, of course, we have the Iranian regime ramping up this ring of fire that surrounds Israel on all sides, including a potential new ring that the regime is trying to create in the West Bank, which we call Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland. A whole lot to discuss, obviously, and no better person to discuss it with than our good friend Yair Pinto of TBN Israel. Now, Yair not only has an incredible channel at TBN Israel that you need to subscribe to, but he is also our Jerusalem correspondent for my brand new show debuting this Monday, March 25th, this coming Monday, Stakelbeck Tonight. I'm on the Stakelbeck Tonight set right now, but we will also do some great Watchman Newscasts from here as well. But Yair will join us on Stakelbeck Tonight on a regular basis, folks. Mark your calendar. Again, that's Monday, March 25th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with a re-air every night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time as well. For such a time as this, hey, with the weekly Watchman show, we just didn't have enough. We didn't have enough time to bring you the kind of biblical perspective that you need with everything going on in this upside-down world right now. We decided, and our team at TBN decided, we need to go nightly. So Stakelbeck Tonight, we hope, will bring you that kind of biblical perspective on cutting-edge issues as the world is on fire, no doubt, but God Almighty is still on the throne, and his throne is in the city of Jerusalem. That's where we're going right now with our good friend Yair Pinto of TBN Israel. Joining us now from TBN Jerusalem is our good friend Yair Pinto. Yair, hey, great to have you with us. So much to talk about. Number one, you've done a lot of reporting over the months on Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza. Now, here in America, following the war, I thought Al-Shifa Hospital, that whole issue was settled. The IDF took the hospital over, exposed the Hamas terror infrastructure beneath that hospital. But over the past few days, we've had some major operations once again at Al-Shifa Hospital. Tell us about that.
Shifa was ours. I mean, the IDF cleared it off of all the terrorists and all the terror cells that were inside the hospital and underneath it. But after we moved our forces out of it and allowed the civilian administration of the Gaza Strip to regain control of the hospital in order to start, treating wounded people and sick people as a hospital should do, Hamas terrorists started coming back inside and even attempted to redig the terror tunnels underneath the hospital in order to resume the terror operations against Israel.
Yair, this is unbelievable. I mean, and number one, folks, Yair is reporting on this every day at TBN Israel. Subscribe to their channel right now here on YouTube. But just the efforts, I'd say demonic efforts, Yair, to try already to redig those tunnels under the hospital, they just don't quit. These Hamas terrorists, unless they're crushed completely, it seems, Yair, they're going to continue this terror reign in Gaza.
Yeah, definitely, Eric. They do not quit because they understand then that once they're out of there, it's their end. The IDF is in this to win. And wherever they pop out again, the IDF will resume its operations and will destroy these terror cells. The problem is that there is no alternative to govern the Gazan population and the civil administration in the Gaza Strip other than Hamas. So they are returning into the control positions because there is a power vacuum and nobody is actually managing all the civil administration needs of the Palestinian people in Gaza.
And Yair, in your work, you've reported on Rafah, which is the site of the next offensive, kind of Hamas's last bastion. You've reported that Hamas gangs are pretty much roaming the streets in Rafah and intimidating the people there, right?
Yeah, so basically, Rafah is the Wild West. And when you say gangs, these are 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds that are affiliated with Hamas. And Hamas is giving them some money, some power, and they go around with clubs stealing the humanitarian aid trucks and food that is supposed to be distributed to the Palestinian people that are suffering in these areas and taking them to be used by Hamas terrorists and also to be sold at a very high price to the Palestinian people inside. This is what's happening in Rafah, and the IDF is preparing to take control of this last Hamas stronghold in the Palestinian enclave, which is the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, Yair, it must be done. No matter how much the world howls and protests, the IDF must go into Rafah to finish the job and crush this Hamas threat decisively. By the way, you've also been reporting on what Hamas and Islamic Jihad and other terror groups are doing in the West Bank. We call it Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland. Talk about what Hamas has been up to there.
So listen, Hamas is losing in the Gaza Strip, but it has alternatives. Israel is in this war, and we are fighting on multiple fronts. So we have Hezbollah in the north, we have Hamas in the Gaza Strip, we have Hamas cells in the West Bank, and we have the Houthis attacking us from Yemen to Eilat, which is Israel's southern city. So this is a battle that is fought on multiple fronts. The Gaza Strip is only one front. It's been getting all the media attention around the world, but the West Bank is another, barrel of explosives that is just being ready to be ignited by Iran. They are smuggling weapons into the West Bank in order to equip the Palestinian terror groups there, which are Hamas and the Islamic Jihad, in order to commit more terror attacks against Israelis from the heart of Israel. Only yesterday there was a terrorist attack inside the West Bank. Okay, we came there 2 days ago in order to film a report, and the day after, at the same junction, on the same road that leads to Jerusalem, Palestinian terrorists opened fire at Israelis.
Unbelievable, Yair, and actually totally believable, I'm sad to say, based on what we've seen over the past few months, and especially when, as you said, the Iranian regime is involved here, the hidden hand in Tehran. You and I have talked about that ring of fire, Yair, that surrounds Israel on all sides. One of those rings is Yemen. Now, the Houthi rebels there, Iran-backed, have been causing a lot of problems in the Red Sea, and the U.S. and the U.K. are engaging them, but the Houthis also have their targets set on Israel, and we had a very troubling development on that front yesterday. Tell us about what happened there.
Okay, so the Houthis are an Iranian proxy in the Middle East, just like Hezbollah is, just like Hamas is, and just like other Islamic militias are being used by Iran in order to attack Israel on multiple fronts. So only yesterday, the Houthis launched a ballistic missile towards Israel. They've been doing this before, multiple times. But this time, the missile actually exploded on Israeli territory, which this is making a big difference now. Until now, the Israeli anti-missile defense systems were able to neutralize these missiles where they were in the middle of the air. Okay, thank God, nobody was hurt because it exploded in an open area. And we see that God is protecting the people of Israel every step of this war. I have multiple stories of, almost hits, and the missile exploded just a few minutes after people were there, or it landed in an open area. We hear that in Hezbollah up north, and we hear that in Eilat in the south, and we hear that in the Gaza Strip.
I want to ask you more about how the Lord is moving in the land before we go, Yair, but real quick, you mentioned Hezbollah. I have to ask you about the northern front, how that's heating up. What's your sense? What's the latest there as Hezbollah just yesterday wounded 2 IDF soldiers with another attack on the north? We have some 80,000 Israelis evacuated from their homes in the north. It seems that things there could be coming to a head.
Yes, well, I spent 2 months in the north when this war started as a soldier. I was called to defend the northern border with Lebanon. And from the beginning, it's been a blow and a blow, meaning that Hezbollah has been launching rockets towards Israel, and then the IDF retaliated by attacking Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. And every step of the way, the war is being moved up to the next level. More rockets. We just had barrages of rockets, of over 100 rockets being fired toward Israeli territory. And then Israel is destroying more and more Hezbollah infrastructure in Lebanon, as well as also leaders of this group. Any day this can become an open, full-scale war between Israel and Hezbollah, which is a different ballgame than Hamas, because Lebanon is a whole state that is controlled by this terrorist organization, Hezbollah, which is heavily funded by Iran.
Yair, we have about 30 seconds left. Tell us a little bit more about just the morale among the people of Israel. I was in Israel with you last month. It seemed like tough times, certainly, but people are resilient in Israel, and God is moving. There's an opening there, it seems.
Listen, definitely, Eric, history is repeating itself. Every generation, people want to come here and to destroy Israel, destroy the Jewish people. Our enemies are trying to destroy Israel because of our connection to God and because of the covenant that God has with the people of Israel. The people of Israel are defending their lives, their families. So everyone who's been called to the IDF to defend his family, his friends, his nation, are doing this with the highest morale possible. And we are winning, like we did in biblical times, like we did in the history, in the early days of this country. And also this war, we will win because God is on our side, Eric.
Amen. And he neither slumbers nor sleeps. And you don't either. It's pretty late over there in Israel right now, Yair. So we will let you go, my friend. Thank you so much. Toda Rabbah. And we will see you on Monday, March 25th, right back here for the launch of Stakelbeck Tonight. Our Jerusalem correspondent, Yair Pinto. Folks, TBN Israel, be sure to subscribe. Yair, thanks so much, my friend. God bless. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks again to our good friend Yair Pinto. Again, folks, subscribe to the TBN Israel YouTube channel and mark your calendars. You will see Yair on the inaugural episode of Stakelbeck Tonight. That's Monday night, March 25th, just a few days away, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then again each night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, every night, Monday through Friday. Yair will be with us on a regular basis with those cutting-edge reports from a biblical perspective from God's one and only holy city, Jerusalem. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.